Hi, guys. Good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me on Patreon, thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate your subscriptions over there. So it is already, I'm filming this on November 20th, right? But I cannot believe, we're already, two-thirds of the way through November. Where did the time go? So this is the weekly reading, right? The it's a community. Sorry, little just woke up. I slept in today. It's really cold and overcast here. Um, it feels like the first sort of wintry day that we've had. So I think that's why I slept in so well, and I'm a little bit feeling kind of cozy. I actually have the heater on in here because it's cold. Um, so bear with me, but this is a collective reading for everyone, and it is intended originally for the 21st through the 27th of November. But if you're seeing this reading on a different time or different, day, and it's like you're looking at it just from that day's perspective, and it actually makes sense to your life, please feel free to use it whenever you find it, kind of thing. That's with any of my readings, either the pick-a cards or the daily readings or any of that sort of stuff. Okay, guys? So keep that in mind. But there's a lot of flexibility. Kind of take what you need and leave the rest. In essence, the dogs are out. You guys, it's like the minute they hear me talking in here, they know they can go buck wild in the bedroom. Do you hear them? I don't know if you can hear them. They're like racing around in the bedroom. I just got done making the bed because I woke up to puppy pee in the bed. I was kind last night and I let the puppies sleep with me again. One of them is getting it. He is not, he's able to not pee in the bed, but the other one is not. And she has been having a hard time figuring out that we don't pee where we sleep. Anyways, that's been the gist of my morning. So please check out the drop-down menu. In there is housekeeping rules. This is more for new folks. There's information in there about the decks that I'm using on my videos. There is my social media contacts and things like that if you wanted to book a private reading, okay? So let's see what the cards have in store for us. Each card is going to represent for about a day or two of the week and just give us an overall sense of kind of how the week may go. Then we go into the dailies after this, every day, and that will give us a little further read as to what, how these cards play out or what other energies are intermingled with these cards that we're going to see now. So let's see what's going on for us between the 21st and the 27th, right after that lunar eclipse that we just had in Taurus during Scorpio season. It's a little bit of an intense period, let's just say that. I certainly felt it. I don't know if you guys did, but I certainly did. The energy was way ramped up for me. All right, so first card out. Interesting. We've not seen her yet. This is the Five of Swords. Strange way of depicting the Five of Swords, in all honesty. I kind of like it. The traditional way is that there's a sword fight and swords are laying on the ground. Somebody's left holding a sword and there's a couple of other people walking away sort of from the fight, right? And I've always interpreted the Five of Swords as sort of in layman's terms as, sometimes maybe picking up the fight and trying to prove your point so much so or communicate your point so much so it's to the detriment of your relationships, right? You might overshoot your shot in a way or push your agenda, your ideas, your opinions so hard that although you've won, it's not really, in the end, it doesn't really feel like you've won, right? You sort of maybe feel like you've been left on an island in a weird way. Or in an effort to prove your point, you've maybe lost a friendship or a relationship behind it, or it's changed it in some way, shape, or form, and not for the better, usually as a rule. Swords is the element of air, right? So it's the arena of the mind, that of thought and communications. What this makes me feel, and this artist, he uses a lot of these sort of ropes and a lot of interesting symbology with this particular deck, which I kind of like. But what I feel like this is that to me it feels more like we might be having a hard time expressing ourselves in the early part of this week. We might feel unable to move forward. Because do you see how those ropes are sort of holding him against that ladder? They're holding him from climbing forward and being able to grab his swords, right? And remember, last week we had the King of Swords leading off our weekly. So, and that to me also felt withdrawn, even though that's not necessarily a King of Swords quality. I felt like we were holding back or trying to stay silent in the early part of the week. Here, it's not that we're trying. I feel like we might even be being forced, or the situation may not allow for us to be heard at this time, right? That's kind of the jumble of ropes as he's trying to climb forward to maybe get to his thoughts, get to his ideas, or grab his swords and even have a say in the fight, right? The traditional meaning of the Five of Swords, obviously is about that idea of, conveying one's thoughts or ideas to one's own detriment in a way. And I think here it might be actually beneficial for us not to necessarily maybe express where we're at or what's going on. There might be a level of patience that's required in the early part of the week that we need, maybe with life in general, or with people or situations around us. It might feel like it's bogging us down. To me, that would be like the sort of the work of the ladder or the discombobulation of the ropes. Does that make sense? Like those ropes could indicate like maybe people not behaving the way we want them to, or feeling like situations are frustrating. We're trying to move forward, but yet we can't. And for some reason, I feel like this Five of Swords indicates that we can't necessarily even communicate that, or we don't necessarily want to, or if we do, there's some sort of maybe, I don't know, like maybe the environment's not going to allow us to, or I almost get the sense that it's not the time, is what I want to say. Like that's more the vibe that I'm getting here. Is this like, how do I want to say this? Be more of a, we're constantly creating, right? With our thoughts, with our feelings, with our emotions, with our, within ourselves, we're sort of creating our own reality, whether we're aware and conscious of it or not, right? Or at least certainly how we choose to experience our reality, right? And when I look at this feels more like being more of a audience member to what's going on rather than a participant. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't feel like it is, actually. I feel like we might be feeling held back in the early part of the week, but that hold back may actually serve a purpose. So don't be dismayed or fooled by the fact that maybe things don't feel like they're working out in your favor or they're working for you. Um, uh, Kind of hold tight and keep sort of moving forward little by little as best you can until you can get to that place. I feel like if we were able to express our thoughts or wield our ideas or communicate what's going on in our mind or how we feel about a situation, we could end up with that more traditional Five of Swords meaning, which is that idea of I've expressed myself, this doesn't work for me, or this is how I think things should be. And boom, everybody around you is like put off. So I kind of almost get that feeling like, nope, we're not going to do that. The ropes, situations, people, um, are going to get in our way and hopefully potentially stop us from doing that. Ultimately, fives are about change or transition. So it's not going to stay this way, this sort of stuck feeling, or if we feel like we're maybe being held back or going backwards or not able to express ourselves that clearly. The good thing is what I see is he sees these five swords above him. And so we know what our thoughts are on the situation, but it's now really the time to express it, right? And I don't think that now is, and I don't think that we're going to be given a lot of opportunity to be able to express in the early part of this week. And that might actually be a good thing. And the reason why I say that is because of the greenery around him. That greenery to me represents new growth, new life, new opportunity. We just need to be sort of patient and let almost situations or the environment play out, and those ropes will soon fall away. The ladder will soon become easier to climb, and we can get to those thoughts or those expressions, those communications that we want to access or want to express, but we may be able to do it at a later date in a more productive manner. If we get to it too soon, or if we blow up, or if we're too sort of reactive, then we get that natural Five of Swords rendition of, I've offended everybody by expressing my feelings and I'm left on an island to myself kind of thing. We don't want that. Midweek is the Eight of Coins. Eight of Coins or Eight of Pentacles is about detail work, right? Craftsmanship. You know, they oftentimes call this the craftsman's card, right? It's about your particular skill set, is how I see it, right? What you bring to the table in a productive and earthy sort of way, right? Because this is Pentacles. This is about where we are at work or where we are in our relationships, what we bring and what we put in actual sort of physical action is going to sort of pay off. It may feel a little bit tedious. It may feel a little bit repetitive, but it is like sort of a skill set that maybe only we have, that we want to access and we want to sort of keep moving forward with as you go through the week. The midweek to me feels like we might feel a little bit less held back, but we need to be sort of more focused on the plan or the details. And when I mean details, I mean like the things we can achieve, the things we can take care of, maybe the bigger picture. Because to me, I'm even looking at that bigger castle in the distance behind him. There's bigger fish to fry in a way, or there's bigger issues at hand. But again, he's only focused on what's right in front of him, what he can control right now, rather than what is going on around him. Right? Again, that castle would indicate, similar to me, like the vines in the previous card, that there is opportunity in the future or to come. But we need to kind of like the phrase that's going off in my head right now, like over and over again as I'm looking at these two cards, is this early part of the week and midweek is the time to stay in your own lane and be productive. Right? Focus on what you're good at, what you can excel at, where you do your best, and do exactly that. That's the Eight of Pentacles, right? Is giving that attention to detail, working out your craftsmanship and craftsmanship doesn't have to just be work related. It can be how we handle our relationships or our loved ones, right? Maybe there's a special skill set in how we listen to others or how we speak with others or support others that is going to help to exemplify and bring about, well-being or wealth in that way within whatever we put our focus on. Does that make sense? In a productive manner. Now, the end of the week. Oh, interesting. We have the Hierophant. What a strange Hierophant card. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. So the Hierophant is about higher learning, societal norms. So oftentimes it goes with being a teacher, or being a leader of some sort, an authority figure. Sometimes we can find ourselves in the role of that authority figure, or we can find ourselves dealing with an authority figure. The Hierophant is not a bad card by any means. It's actually a very beautiful card in the sense that sometimes it can often mean marriage. I don't get that so much from this particular rendition of the card, but there's a strength to the Hierophant. It is major arcana. There's an intelligence. Hierophant always sort of goes along with like higher learning or education, right? So something this week we're learning and we're establishing by the week's end that actually serves us in a very good way is my feeling. It may be rocky at first, and then we sort of work it out towards the midweek. We maintain our focus and we continue to plod forward, so to speak, and we get to this Hierophant card, which is also Earth, right? Hierophant is Taurian energy. We just had that Taurus eclipse, full moon energy, right? So Taurus is teaching us something about ourselves that we might need to, let go of and then focus on the things that we can do this week. And as we do that, we're going to learn where our true strengths lie, where our true wisdom lies, and how to share that wisdom, right? In a way that's productive and powerful, right? And I don't mean powerful from like an egocentric place. Powerful from a place of like it's good for the greater whole, right? Our wisdom or our knowledge base will assist us in maybe teaching others or showing others the way through our own actions, right? It's not like we're actually, it could be some of you could be taking a role of teacher, leader, that sort of a thing. Hierophant would indicate that, but it could just be like through our own actions, people watch us and they learn, oh, wow, okay, that's how they do it. And so we could be almost, for some of us, unconsciously showing people how to make it work for them. Does that make sense? So let me see what's going on with the Oracle card. It's a really interesting reading this week. It feels, one thing I will say, the Five of Swords isn't the most grounded of cards, but the rest is, like the Eight and the Hierophant are. So I don't feel like we're in trouble or by any means. I feel like we're in transition to becoming more stable, if that makes any sense for this week. We'll see how the cards play out daily, but it definitely looks like that's what's going on. Is like we're almost hitting this place of reestablishing ourselves into a place of personal power, right? Into a place of feeling like complete whole, knowledgeable yet again, right? But we have to do it step by step. We may be reactive to it at first or want to react to it, but hopefully we don't get in our own way or get, express our thoughts in a way that doesn't serve us, right? So the card here is observation. And what I love about this is it's like, to me, I get this feeling that this crow wants to eat the spider, but he understands that he could get stuck in the web. And the prize is the spider, right? And so the crow is kind of looking at, in my mind, how do I get to the center of this web and get the prize, so to speak, or the meal, the gift, which would be that spider. And he's going to do that through observation. And I think that I like this as a pairing for this reading, because in the beginning of the week, we may want to express ourselves, but we're going to find we're not going to be able to. And that's actually going to serve us in the long run. So just roll with it. That Eight of Pentacles is that part where we get into the details of what we can do about situations rather than what we can't, and then effectively applying those attributes to whatever it is that we're facing, dealing with, working with, involved in. By week's end, we've really put ourselves into a position where I think this Hierophant is, we've learned through this observation, and we actually end up getting the spider. Does that make sense? That is the Hierophant's power or intelligence that he wields in the end of all of this. So through observation and watching and being like I said, being more passive, like a passive observer in the early part of the week, is going to allow us to inevitably get into the middle of the web of whatever it is we're facing or dealing with. And instead of getting stuck in it, we actually are able to get in there, get the prize, and be all the wiser for it. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm going to read observation to you just because I love this deck and I want to read each of these cards as they come up. So observation. Wait. Is observation missing? LMN? Oh, right? Am I wrong? Where's observation? Oh. Oh, weird. It goes LMN and then it goes P and then the O comes. I wonder if MJ realizes that in her book. A nod to my guardian of the night deck. The crow watches the spider, intrigued by how it catches its meals. The crow could simply pluck the spider right up, but instead it decides to learn a little first. Observation asks that you hold back from reacting and take some time to analyze the situation. Remember, allow yourself to be held back in the middle part of the week. And that analyzation happens in the midweek in the Eight of Pentacles. These may be something, there may be something of value that will only reveal itself if given the time. This card may also indicate that you would be better served by being a spectator and staying out of a situation. You will learn more from listening than talking. And that's kind of sort of the vibe that I'm getting with these three tarot cards too. It's like they're staying in their lane very much so. And even this shrouded Hierophant, although they're full of knowledge, that shroud over him with the rope at his neck says, kind of keep your knowledge, not to yourself, but like share your knowledge when it's asked of you. That's when it's probably going to be its most profound and powerful. People will know, right? They're going to see the Hierophant is ultimately major arcana. People are going to see you and understand what's going on or what you know or appreciate that, but you don't have to go like blasting it around. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Here is the grounding stone for the week, and the word is dream. So while we're keeping our mouths shut, and sometimes for me that's hard, as you can tell, since this video's gone so long, allowing ourselves to maybe play in our dreams, right? And how we would want things to be if they were more suited to us. Not like, instead of looking at a situation or a relationship or whatever as, oh, I need this to make me happy. How do we dream about being happy in the now, right? And then observe what's going on around us and learn from it, and then adapt it to create the dream, or to have it become the dream that we sort of want, right? But I don't know why I get this feeling, but like grounding in the idea of the dream, we don't want the dream to, how do I want to say this? Like the earthiness in the observation card, the two pentacle, the Hierophant and the pentacle, Eight of Pentacles says to me, stay grounded, be earthy, watch your actions, watch your intelligence. It's almost like your intelligence. The Hierophant is the marriage of the intelligence and the wisdom, right? The mind and the body coming together, or the mind and the action sort of coming together in a way that's productive. Use that to sort of help you to achieve the dream, but like, don't hold your dreams in the space of, oh, if I only had this, then everything would be okay. It's more like, okay, this is what I have and I'm okay with it. Now, how do I make it better? Does that make sense? Or what can I do for myself to make it more dream-like, rather than, sometimes I think dreams are wonderful to have, right? But because we allow them to be dreams, we sort of place them outside of ourselves or further away from ourselves than we need to. I want you to ground in like the idea of, what if you were already presently in the dream? What if this is the dream? And as you observe it, it begins to unfold for you and show you aspects or knowledge or areas of yourself that can bring you even more of what it is that you seek ultimately. Does that make sense? I think that does. And I mean, it certainly makes sense to me. So grounding in the idea of, remaining like observant, and then sort of, I don't know, like connecting your dreams to the life that you have and making them one in the same as you move through it, even if it's not the most comfortable. Does that make sense? All right, that is your forecast. Sorry I ran so long, guys. We'll see how this energy builds. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a question or comment if you like. And I look forward to seeing you guys this week to see how this all plays out. It should be a very interesting week. And we'll see what, kind of comes about from this whole full moon energy. It's been a literal roller coaster ride. All right, take care. Bye-bye.